Today in this episode of Fed Pipeline in 3 minutes, we want to give you a complete 360-degree demo of our tool showing all of the various search panels, integration between the data sets, and a number of other very cool features. So hang with us. This video will be a bit longer than 3 minutes, but we trust that you will walk away with a great understanding of Fed Pipeline and how we are positioned to help you win business in this very competitive market. We've started with this concept we call market context. So one of the things that's always frustrated me, especially when I use GovWin, is that I feel like I keep having to reset my searches and my context never really sticks long enough. And I don't know whether that's the browser or their app or cookies or whatever, but I always find myself kind of frustrated. So I said to myself, as we're building this thing, let's give users the ability to set the basics of what they're after one time and then use it across the various search interfaces. So here you can set your agency and sub-agency, which is department and agency in kind of our normal parlance. You can add multiples if you want something a bit more complex. You can add one or more NAICS codes. You can also say, I want to deal with NAICS families. So in this case, I've entered 5415, which is all of the IT stuff. And then if you want to restrict further in your opportunity searches, you can add a product service code. So you set that once, use the little green checkbox down here at the bottom. And then when you go to a vendor, a contract, or an opportunity search, what you'll find is that those values are pre-populated within the search fields. You have the opportunity to modify. So in this case, we're going to go ahead and add 8A and 8A joint venture, and we'll click search. And boom, we get 155 8A vendors and joint venture companies who have prime contracts with the Air Force over the last 5 years. And we use this grid interface that you see here. One of the modifications we're going to be adding over the next little while as we develop the next release is we're going to come up with an interface where we have multiple grids so that you can get multiple views. So in this grid, we've numbered the rows, we've given you the cage code. Eventually we'll migrate to Sam's new universal unique identifier, whatever they call that, UI, whatever thing. We've got the vendor name. And then these two columns here are some of the value that we're adding to the database and to the user experience, is that we've gone ahead and totaled the federal action obligations and the base and all option value, or your total contract value. So we've already done, those are pre-calculated. They're actually pre-calculated or calculated on demand as part of FPDS as well. They don't store the totals, they calculate the totals. So we've gone ahead and calculated all the totals for each one of these contracts so that when we're generating these search results, we can show you what the totals are. And then in the grid, you can sort by any of these companies. So if you were interested in who has the most contract awards, we'd see here it's Stellar Innovation and Solutions, Inc. with 53 awards over this period of time. And the period of time we've selected is fiscal year 17 to 22. And within the 5415 NAICS code. So it's not everything, it's within this particular market. So it's within the context of what we're doing. We've put 10 entries in a grid. We give you the ability to change that or display all of them. And as well, you can search within this grid. So, if you were looking for Eagle, there's Eagle. All you got to do is start to type and it will narrow it down. There's Eagle, 4 million, 9 million with 8 contract awards in this period of time within the Air Force. We use a similar interface here for contract search. So in this case, choosing the set aside, we're talking about contract set aside here. We could also set a minimum value if we were looking for. So if we wanted to set, I don't know, a $1 million minimum contract value, we could do that and click search. We have the ability, if we want to go down to the funding office level. So right here, we've set agency and sub-agency. We could also go down to the office level. So that's, of course, there's a large number of offices. So that, if you know what you're doing, you can do that. If you know where you're going, you can also add to your search criteria the awarding agency. So of course, this is Air Force money, but perhaps they used, NIH, Interior, GSA, NASA, whomever for their contracting office or the awarding office. That's the parlance that FPDS and GSA establishes. So here we have the same grid interface with the ability to sort and search within the grid. And we have all these contracts, 266 contracts. So as opposed to kind of the noise, and this is one of the things I talk about on the website, on the public website, is kind of we've tried to reduce the noise within your search, right? So if you search for Air Force contracts or anybody's contracts on FPDS, you're also presented with all of the contract mods, and that could be good. But if you think about it, if you have a 5-year contract and you have quarterly updates to that contract, you can very quickly get over a dozen to 2 dozen contract mods for any one contract. So then you multiply that by the number of actual contracts you're interested in, and all of a sudden your number goes from the hundreds into the thousands and tens of thousands of entries that you need to manage, and it just creates more noise that you have to sift through. So we've gone ahead and done the totals so that you can see the totals. In this case, we've put total contract value here, but we've already done that for you, so that in the grid, as you're browsing through the grid, you can see what all these totals are for each of these contracts. And if you click one of these purple links, you'll get a detail page. And then the green links actually will refine your search. So as in this case, as you were browsing through, if you wanted to refine your search down to HQ, AETC, XP funding office, or you wanted to use a particular Air Force or other agency's contract office or awarding agency, you could click one of these green links and it would refine your search. So when you click a contract number, you get our contract detail page. And so this is gives you a summary of the contract up here. You can see this was an 8A sole source. It was a purchase order. D399 PSC code, 541511 was the NAICS code. You can see the awarding and funding agency and sub-agency information. And then we give you in date sorted order this card interface for each of the modifications so that you can see what the modifications are. And then you'll notice these little hyperlinks with a little flag. So these are links to USA Spending. So unlike SAM, USA Spending gives us a URL to their page. And so we can go right to their page and you can use their interface and browse from here. And we didn't have to duplicate this. We have most of this data, but we don't have it laid out always in this manner. So we're not trying to replace these tools. We're trying to supplement them and give you faster access to them. Thanks very much for watching our demo. Please let us know if we can answer any questions. Reach out to us via direct message on this platform or support@fedpipeline.com. You can also find our contact information on our website, fedpipeline.com. We're here to help you better understand your market and win business in the various agencies that you're supporting. Let us know how we can help you, and best of success this year.